Hey everybody, how's it going? Alright, so behind me you can see my ugly broken down utility shed that I've been using as a blacksmith shop. But this right here is the focal point of the video. That is my overgrown pear tree. Now this pear tree was on the property when I moved in, when I bought the house. And it was already overgrown and neglected like that. And I've tried to do a minimal pruning over the last couple of years. And at one point I topped it, cutting about 8 feet off the top of it. Obviously, as you can see, it's in desperate need of pruning. So that's going to be the subject of this video. And this video is going to have to take part over 3 or 4 days maybe. That's just an estimate. It's going to take me a little while to prune it. I'm not going to sit here and do a blow by blow. Let you or force you to watch me prune every little limb off of that thing. But what I will do is I wanted to give you a before, and then I want to do some pruning and give you come back every so often and let you see how it's progressing. And that, like I said, this is going to be, I'm going to upload all this as one video, but it's going to be done in stages because it's going to take entirely too long to prune this. And to be honest with you, right up here at the fork that y'all see right about here, that's probably where I'm going to top it at. You see there's 3 trunks right here. There's 3 trunks right here. So the really large one in the center, I'm probably going to cut that. And the one on the right and left, the 2 smaller ones, I'll probably keep those to give it a better shape and get it more under control. So I'm probably going to take off about half of that tree. And the way it was explained to me, as I understand it with pruning these trees, that the drooping branches are the ones that need to stay. Anything going straight up needs to be trimmed. They're suckers. Anything crisscrossing needs to be trimmed. And anything in the center needs to be removed. Anything growing into the center or growing up from the center needs to be removed to allow sunlight into the center of the tree. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'm going to get started. So I'll be doing this over the next couple of days, so you'll see the progress. It's going to look entirely different by the time I'm done. So I'll be back. Alright, so I've done a little pruning. Removed a bunch of the lower branches here. I started on the low end, trying to work my way up. And it turns out that, see if I can use one of the branches of this trunk right here, which was the one on the right hand side that I was going to try to keep. Well, turns out that whole trunk lead is dead. So that whole thing's got to come off. That's going to leave this large one in the center that splits in 2 at the top, and it's going to leave this smaller one on the left. Because of that, I've tried to leave this one, although it's still fairly small. So yeah, that whole thing's got to come off, and that's a large chunk of the top of the tree. So I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. There might be a lot more dead up there than what I'm aware of. So that's what I got to do. That's going to be the next thing I got to take off. So let me get that down and see where we go from there. Alright, so it's been about a week since I started making this video, and it took a lot longer to prune this pear tree than I thought, because I had like 6 12-hour shifts and a couple of days of heavy rain that kind of interfered with it. But the majority of it's done. As you can see, that's where the tree is right about now. I've got a bunch of stuff growing behind it, so it's kind of hard to see that. See the outline it was before. I don't know if you guys can see that, make it out. I took about 20 foot off the top of this tree, and it's still probably about 18 foot tall. So it was getting pretty good, a pretty good height. This right here is maybe a half to a third of what I took off of it. I pruned quite a bit. Now I know that it's gonna cost me some production this year, obviously, because the tree's got to heal. It's not gonna have as many blossoms on it, and by the way, it's already blooming out. I don't know if you guys can see those. It's already blooming out, but yeah, I'm gonna lose some production this year, but I'm okay with that because my family never really eats a lot of pears anyway. This was a tree that was already here when I bought the place. I'm just trying to take advantage of it, and there's usually, I'd say probably enough to fill about 15 5-gallon buckets coming off of this tree, so a little bit less this year is not going to hurt. I've already got some put up in the freezer from last year, so what little bit I get off this will be probably made into jelly, put up in the freezer, maybe dehydrate some, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, like I said, a little bit less production this year. That's fine though, because I've got it to a more manageable and healthy size. I took some massive pruning on this, so it's going to take time to recover. But the goal was to shorten it and improve the structure of the branches on the lower ends down here, on the lower side of the trunk, because the bulk of the tree was above 15 foot, and those pears I could almost never get to, even with a long piece of pipe with a hook on the end. I could still never pick them all, and in the end a lot of them would just end up hitting the ground and rotting. So there was a lot of waste going on. So this hopefully will improve production, make it easier to reach what I do have produced, and hopefully help the tree be a little bit healthier. I've got some spray, some Garrett juice and stuff like that I'm going to start treating all my fruit trees with. Hopefully that'll help production, help improve the health of these trees. I've got other trees around here. I've got some plum trees, peach trees. They're nowhere near this big. This was by far the biggest fruit tree on the property. I've got 2 more apple trees. I've got to check the state of them. They need some serious pruning. There's got a lot of suckers on those. I've got a couple of plum trees. One of them, I don't even know if it's even going to produce this year. It's never produced really. Just about every fruit tree I've got has dropped its fruit before it was ripe, except for this pear tree. So I've got to really this year step up my game when it comes to maintaining the health of these trees, treating for pests, trying to improve the soil condition around the trees, the nutrients to the trees. But something else I'm also fixing to start doing, that's going to be a separate video, is my garden spot over here. I'm fixing to, because the soil is so bad, I'm fixing to do a complete till up and amendment on that, and I'm going to throw everything I can at it, hopefully to get better production this year. But anyway, that's my work on the pear tree. I know it's hard to see right now, the lighting and everything. Let's see if I can move over here. Yeah, see, that's where I topped it. and it went up to about 20 feet above that where it's cut there. So it's got a little bit better structure. There's still a few smaller branches over here on this side that I need to prune a little bit, but they're really small ones. All of the big stuff is there, and the even bigger stuff I drug down to the backside where I usually burn a bunch of my yard debris. So now it's mainly just doing cleanup right here and doing a few little pruning of some tiny branches where the branches crisscross or overlap each other, things like that. But that's the bulk of it. Hopefully this helps this tree. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Like and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll have some more videos out soon. Until then, you stay safe, guys. I'll catch you later.